Hey guys, welcome back. In the last two videos, we saw about JUnit, we saw about test in G, and how we converted your Selenium code, IDE code, to your WebDriver code. So what we do is we normally use format and we use WebDriver, WebDriverBacked, and remote control. These are the three formats available for your Java TestNG and Java JUnit 4. Of course, there is Python, Ruby, where you can convert your Selenium ID test case. Now, let us understand what is WebDriver backed and what is RC. So, if you remember the history of Selenium IDE, Selenium started with remote control, and then subsequently, when Google and ThoughtWorks got merged, I mean when Google acquired Selenium, that's where the WebDriver came into existence. So the typical problem with many companies who were using Selenium was that remote control, which was the uh, one which they were using for writing code, had ThoughtWorks Selenium, and to make it compatible to run in WebDriver and not making obsolete, they came up with the concept of WebDriver backed. So that's a basic difference between your remote control, WebDriver backed, and WebDriver. So remote control always worked in the concept of JavaScript injection. WebDriver, which was developed by Simon Stewart and team, it used to start directly talking to the native language of the browser. So if the test wants to get launched in Firefox, it used to talk to Firefox in its Firefox language. So that was the basic difference between remote control and WebDriver. And to make the companies who were using remote control for many years suddenly found that they have to now make the code workable or make run in WebDriver, and the WebDriver actually solved the problem. Now what we can do is we can now try to convert this test case into three formats, that is format the WebDriver, we can use JUnit, so it's WebDriver backed, and remote control, and see how each of them looks different. So what we are going to do is we are going to select remote control first, we write it over here, we create a new class file, so we can write Wikipedia wiki rc, and then click on finish. We do a select all, we paste, and then we make the necessary changes so that it will get compiled properly, right? And so this is your remote control test case. We will look what exactly is Selenium and all, and save this. Then we create another class file for your WebDriver back. So wdb here. So we click on finish. So class file is ready. We go back to our Selenium IDE and now copy your WebDriver back. So we click on HTML, click on table, so go to format, Java JUnit WebDriver backed. So we get the code, we copy it, we paste it over here, right, and then we make the necessary changes. Yeah, so WebDriver backed code is ready, and now our last is your WebDriver normal code. So WebDriver normal code is the one which we used it here. Now let's look at basic difference what each of them has. So what I have done is I have put it in a Word file so that the explanation becomes easy. Now let's look at the initialization part. So your remote control, WebDriver backed and WebDriver. If you see remote control, it only imports the ThoughtWorks Selenium prior to your WebDriver. So it was used prior to your WebDriver, that is before 2006, before 2008, sorry. And your WebDriver backed, it has your ThoughtWorks Selenium as well as your WebDriver as well, and your WebDriver only has import of WebDriver. If you see over here, uh, your Selenium is declared, your Selenium class is used, and here over here it is WebDriver class is used. So this is your initialization part. Now let's come to your @before part. In @before part, if you see over here, we have something called Selenium equal to uh, default localhost 4444 and selenium.start. What does that mean is the RC, right? The RC comprises of two things. One is the server, which and your the class file. So whenever you want to run a RC test case, you always need to run a server first. So we will look at an example, the same example. What does that mean? And by default, the server starts at 4444 port. Now this is the main part in WebDriver backed. So if you see over here, we have declared a WebDriver variable, that is driver, and then what we do is we pass the WebDriver backed driver into Selenium. So if I have a code written in RC and I want to support in WebDriver backed, this is the main part, which is Selenium equal to new WebDriver backed Selenium driver and your URL. So that's where you will pass the control from WebDriver to Selenium and also make it work under your WebDriver. So this was the main conversion part which actually helped to run your RC test case and your WebDriver, right? Now if you go to your @test, you see that the all the controls are in your Selenium, right? So if you see RC and WebDriver backed, the code is exactly the same. Only thing is we have declared a WebDriver variable in WebDriver backed, and then we have passed the control to Selenium, right? And over here in WebDriver code, all the code has been done by your WebDriver, right? Similarly, in @after tag, you have something called selenium.stop, and here your driver.quit, right? Now let's run the test case. Now let's run the RC test case. So you have already copied your RC code in wiki rc.rjava. You run as junit test because we had copied junit WebDriver. So if you see, it has gone into error. It is saying that could not contact Selenium server. Have you started it on localhost 4444? What does it say is you need to start the server, Selenium server, to run a RC test case. So what we do is we go to DOS prompt and you go to the directory where you have the Selenium server file. That is this one. Yeah. And then you type the command java -jar selenium server, right? Java -jar selenium server jar. This will now start the server, that is standalone server. So if you see it is saying that have you started on localhost 4444. So when you go to your browser, you can actually see that the server is running. So what you do is we go to localhost, localhost 4444. Okay, there's some proxy problem. Let's see that afterwards. So Selenium server is up and running. You can see the message over here. And then you go to Eclipse and you start running the test case again. Now the test case will run because we have started a server. And Selenium server, this ThoughtWorks Selenium is very slow as compared to your WebDriver. So you need to remember that. Obviously, in if you are working in a company which has been using Selenium for quite some time, especially more than 10 years, they will definitely have code in ThoughtWorks Selenium. So using WebDriver backed, you can definitely convert into WebDriver format. So if you see, it is taking time to launch the test case. So it is taking a lot of time. It is very slow. So let's see our WebDriver backed. So WebDriver backed code doesn't need your Selenium server to start, and you can run the WebDriver backed as you normally run a test case. So in JUnit, and let's see how fast it is. Yeah, so this is a little bit fast as compared to your plain RC. So it has just launched the browser. Obviously, there are no companies which are now developing scripts on RC, but there are legacy scripts which are still in RC and which needs to be run in WebDriver. So this is the method which has been run, and your normal wiki is your WebDriver one. So this is the basic difference between RC, WebDriver, and WebDriver backed, right? So in the next video we will look more on TestNG, data driven, and your page object model. Thank you.